Ladies and gentlemen, David Montgomery, everybody.
If you get one moment of clarity in your entire life, you're a very lucky person. That one moment of clarity where you get to decide, because of some divine intervention, what kind of person you're going to be for the remainder of your days here, you're super lucky. I was super lucky, and I had that moment, and I had it very early on. I was 14 years old. I saw the Spice Girls on MTV. And it sounds ridiculous because I'm a music person. I actually have great taste in music outside of them. But I have a theory. If you're a music person like me and something gets you at your adolescence, no matter how garbage it is, there's always going to be a tiny piece of your heart, a special place there set aside for them. If you grow up and you have no social life or social skills, then it grows into an obsession. An obsession sometimes so big that you have to step out of your real world every now and then and step into Spice World instead. And that's what this story is about. Now, if you can even possibly imagine this, I was not very popular in high school. I did have a nickname. It was Faggot. And I'm glad we're okay with laughing about it because I was worried everyone's going to be like, oh, that's sad. No, it's fine. I'm still standing. So, but no, I was not popular. And it sounds ridiculous, but the positive vibes that they had in their idiot music back then, it meant something to me in my sad, angsty, suicide-y teenage years. It meant something to me. So take that, haters. It works. So flash forward to 2007. I am working a curriculum development job while I'm waiting to get a really good teaching job. And my boss, she's always up my butt about something, and I'm ready to kill her, and she hates me. And one day, she's always like, don't use your phone. And my phone's on my desk, and one day it's exploding. And it's exploding because the Spice Girls have announced via CNN that they are doing a worldwide reunion tour. And they are doing 8 dates worldwide. And I don't have a passport, and there are 3 American dates. And everybody's like, oh, which one are you going to go to? And I'm like, I'm crazy. I'm going to buy all 3. And I do. And I talk to my boss after I buy these tickets the day they go on sale. And she's like, oh, so you're going to need some time off? I doubt that's going to happen in December. And I'm like, that's probably going to be a problem. And spoiler alert, that's a problem. So I go back to my desk after buying these, and I look at the tour map, and these little blue dots keep on popping up on it. And then they even more pop up. And I'm like, I'm trying to investigate and figure out what's happening. It looks like one of those like Ebola outbreak time-lapse maps where it's like, if we do absolutely nothing, in less than 5 months, the Spice Girls will infect the entire United States. We will all be victims of girl power. And so I took one for the team. It was a scary map. So I decided, you know what? I have to do this. And within minutes, I became a Spice Girls season ticket holder. They have 22 shows in America, and I went to every single one of them. I bought all the tickets. I know, right? Thank you. I went to my boss, and I said, hey, I'm going to need more than like a week off like we originally talked. And she goes, no way, absolutely not. And I said, what would Ginger Spice do? I go, oh, she quit the band. I'm like, I quit. Thank you so much. And I became first person in the history of time to quit their professional job to follow the Spice Girls around on a tour. And I'm so glad that I did, because it was the most uplifting experience of my life, believe it or not. Like, I had this YouTube show that documented my experience in Spice World, which made me pretty notorious in the Spice community, which, funny enough, is an actual thing. And people are coming from every city. They're coming up going, oh, my God, like on the streets, at airports, at shows, everything. They're like, oh, can I get a picture with you? These people are quoting me. They're coming up, and I had a tagline at the end of every episode. I'd say, peace, girl power, and remember, it's a Spice World. We're just living in it. And they're saying this to me. It was amazing. Like, at this point, even the Spice Girls are recognizing me. It was unbelievable. I mean, granted, not in their defense, but I was one of very few adult men with a bleach blonde Posh Spice haircut in the front row every night. You tend to notice certain things after a while. And but no, it was so funny. I was so glad that I did this, because the first time in my life, I really took in the moment and said, oh my God, right now, I'm popular. People are coming up to me on the street like strangers based on the merit of my personality. They're like, I want to be you. And that felt amazing. And I really let myself appreciate that for several months. And before I know it, the tour is ending. and I don't know what to do with myself. Spice World stops turning, but the real world doesn't, for those of you who don't know. The real world never stops turning, so I find myself really, like, getting kind of depressed. It hurts so much to find all this, like, dare I say validation via the Spice Girls, but I find this, and I feel so good about it, and then I realize I can't have that in my professional life. If I'm going to be a teacher, you cannot have both of those things. It's not a thing. So I'm trying to move forward, and I decide I have to do what's right, and I have to pick up the pieces. I cut off my Posh Spice hairdo. I took the rest of what was left, and I colored it the color of an adult man's hair, and I polished up my resume. And I was lucky enough to land an interview at the school where I student taught. And the new principal, she calls me. I'd never met her before, but she's like, I've heard such great things about you, your creative energy and all this. And I'm like, okay, this is going to be great. And then I get off the phone and I do a little research and find out she used to be a nun. So I hit the panic button. I'm like, oh, God, she cannot know that Scary Spice herself said that I am the sixth Spice Girl. Like, no one can know about this. I need to have a thread of professional dignity here. It can't happen. So I'm trying to, like, squeeze by on this. It's going to be a very, like, rigid, professional, and potentially homophobic atmosphere. So I don't know what to do. So I got to put the gay away on my interview. And I go in, and we're having a great conversation, and she casually says, oh, I don't know if you have any musical abilities, but we also have an opening for a music teacher part-time. Do you have any ability? And I go, I wish that I did, but I, like, can't even sing on key in the shower. And she goes, that's really ironic. And I'm like, how? And she goes, all that time with the Spice Girls. And you can't even sing. And I'm like, I deleted the videos. How does she know about this? Like, my face, I tried to stop it from melting, but I couldn't help it. Spice World had collided with the real world in a very big way, and you can't move on from that. But I smiled, and I sweated, and I peed a little bit, and I kept on going. And miracle of miracles, she's the most liberal nun in the history of time, and I got the job, and I've been there ever since. It's crazy. It's crazy. But it's so funny. Most of my students this year, I teach first grade, most of my kids weren't even born by the time this tour ended. And you ask any fucking one of them, and they know all 5 Spice Girls. You know why? There are 2 reasons. One is because right now I'm the most popular person in the first grade classroom. And 2, it's a Spice World. We're just living in it. Thank you so much.
David Montgomery, everybody.